Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today. So let's get started.
So today is episode 266, Decorating Blunders and How to Fix Them. And if you'd like to check out the show notes for today's episode, head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/266. Today, we're going to be talking about sort of the smallish size blender, not the big giant blender that you have to call in professionals to do. These might be just things that you've done that you wish you hadn't done, or choices that you've made, or something that you made a hole in the wall, or all these little things. And maybe you're just living with them, or maybe you just don't know how to undo them. And so today we're going to give you some tips in that regard.
That doesn't mean you're going to be going over the toothpaste in the hole in the wall. Is that what we're going over today?
Well, you know what? It's always an option.
Okay.
Exactly. So anyway, you want to kick it off, Anita Jean?
I would love to. And I think this is one of the biggest blunders I have ever made. And I think I'm not the only one. And that is going shopping, trying to find things that work in a room that you don't like.
Oh.
Now you're trying to find things you don't. Say that again.
Okay, so I'm going to phrase it a different way.
Okay, you're not going to try to find things you do not like.
No. It was to find things that go in a room that you no longer like the way it's decorated.
Oh, I gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't like your room, you don't like the way it looks, but then you take the fabrics in that room with you shopping to match them.
And you don't like it anyway.
No, but you feel like it has to go with what you have. I actually did that. And I remember being in the furniture store and looking at the samples and looking at the new fabrics and just telling myself, I'm embarrassed for anyone to even see these fabrics here. I can't even show them to a person that works here. And I just remember, throwing them on the floor, and I mean, not really throwing them on the floor, but I just remember at that point deciding, forget this. I am going to start from scratch. This furniture is going bye-bye because I can't stand it. Kelly's talked about that point where the kids had just destroyed the furniture. That's where we were. We were at a new phase. The kids had just kind of ruined the old furniture. It was time for something new anyway.
That is a really good point, Anita, because it's just like you're throwing good money after bad.
Yes. So it's like, two wrongs don't fix a right.
That's right.
Or don't make it right. Anyway, whatever, however that makes it. However you say that. If you don't like your room at all, you don't like stuff, then think about how you can start transitioning to a new look rather than continuing to buy things that go with that look. The other thing I wanted to add on this is when you are transitioning to a new look, which I went from my Tuscan look to the whites and blues. And it was not pretty during the transition because I couldn't afford to do everything all at once. But once I was done, it was so worth it. So I'm just saying there may be an ugly transition time, but it's going to be worth it.
And I think we'd all rather live with a lot less, like take a lot of it out and just live with it like that.
Exactly.
For a while, because I think I so agree with you. And, I think that happens to all of us. But then you just don't want that cluttered, we talk about cross-holidation. This is cross-decoration. And you sort of don't want that because they fight. And see, that would be hard for me then to visualize what does the end product look like. When I'm having half of the old stuff in there that doesn't look right with the new stuff I'm bringing in. Sometimes you can't replace a sofa, but you can throw a light colored throw over it. You know what I'm saying? But all the other things maybe need to go. I think that is just so on. Here's another one. I'm a fan of going to these stores where you can buy all kinds of great decor. We know, those stores. And I take a shopping cart and I just love too many things. Like, oh, I love those white dishes, but oh, look at these pink ones that have these pretty flowers. And oh, look at that, Mongolian pillow, but also look at that wool throw. And gosh, I really like that lamp. And we could like things, but but we've talked about this before. It's good to like everything, but it's not good to bring everything home. And you've got to resist that urge, because sometimes I'll bring things home just because I loved it and couldn't pass it up. And sometimes that's a good thing. The table that's now in one of my guest bedrooms, it's an odd shaped table, little small, like nightstand or end table that was hand painted in it's like a zebra pattern, but it's brown and tan. And it sat in my basement for 2 years. And I'm thinking, and then I thought, oh my gosh, it'll be perfect. Now that worked. But how many things sit in my basement or in my closet because I don't know what to do with them and I love them. And I've just learned, Yvonne, filter down, use your brain like a filter. Don't look for those things that you love so much. I mean, obviously I could have taken those things back, but to me, that's time, and my time is precious. So when you go to these places that have so many beautiful things, stay within your style. Stay within your style, because that, if you don't, you're going to be in trouble.
Well, Yvonne, that was one of my decorating blunders I was going to mention, is not knowing your style. So that's what you're talking about.
Huge.
Was you bought something that didn't really go with your style. But if you don't know what your style is, then you're going to do it over and over again.
And if you know your style, it's okay to love everything. You can enjoy it in the store. You don't have to bring it home to enjoy it. But then you can think about what would go with what is in your style, what would go and flow with your room, what would give it a curated look. And then you can pick out from there the things that you like, need and love. Like you may love that Mongolian pillow, but it just wouldn't look right in your house. Now I can't imagine that because I love them and use them. But, who knows? Or, I may not need that wool throw because it's the wrong color. So it's so important to nail your style down. I can't even tell you how important that is. It saves you money. It saves you headaches. It saves you frustration. It saves you from making a bad decision. And most of all, it saves you from getting stuck. And I think that if you make decorating blunders and you sort of don't know how to get over them, you become stuck. And if you know your decorating style, that really helps.
Okay, so Yvonne is saying you should know your style, hone it,
and practice
follow through to avoid the blunders. But what if you've made some blunders? Like, let's get back to the toothpaste on the wall.
Can I go back to this for just 1 second?
Sure.
The thing I wanted to mention is, if you don't know your decorating style and you want to know, we have some tips on how to do that in episode 2. So go back to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/2. Okay, Kelly.
Oh, very nice.
Back to you.
Episode 2. I think I might have to re-listen to that one. That was a long time ago.
That was.
Yeah. So let's think about some specific things that people may have done or, in the past, or no names need to be mentioned.
Well, that was one.
Oh,
I just bought all kinds of stuff because I didn't. How to fix it is know your style. So,
right. But I'm saying our listeners don't have to be raising their hands or anything. We don't need to know who made these blunders. We're just going to tell you how to fix them. So how about hanging your art too high? People do that.
Big blunder.
Or they hang something that's too small, or you just grab that hammer and go for it. Okay, it doesn't mean it has to stay there forever. Yeah, it's a pain in the neck to fix your wall, but living with something that just doesn't literally sit right on the wall and you're seeing it every day is super annoying and would just sort of be like this niggly thing that you don't like about the room. So depending on your room, depending on what's under it, whether it's a sofa or if it's just, an entry type wall where there's no furniture under it, you can Google around, you can listen to some of our podcast episodes. We've done ones about hanging things, hanging art, hanging gallery walls and things like that. We can even put links in this show notes to those other episodes so you can get an idea. But just change it. You're going to be so much happier. And yes, you can squirt some white toothpaste into the wall and get away with it. But I wouldn't do that really. I mean, only if you were, had to do it and people were coming in a second, or you were immediately going to close on your house and sell it. Maybe stick some toothpaste in the wall. But there's easy fixes for it. It doesn't have to be an entire repaint job. Or maybe you move it down to the right height and you decide to create a gallery wall and you put something above it and on either side, and you can fix it by covering the holes, things like that. So I think that you should, if you're not happy with the way you hung something on the wall, it just doesn't seem right to you. Or maybe you're not even, you don't realize it, but you're just not appreciating that piece of art, that photo, as much as you thought you were going to. Maybe it's in the wrong spot. So learn about where it should be in your particular situation and move it.
Can we stay on the art subject?
Sure.
Let's talk about choosing the wrong art. I think that that's you can love a piece and you think it's going to work and you get it home and it doesn't really work in your house. And I think it's so important that you can take a piece of art back. So know that policy before you buy it, because if you hang it and go, oh, well, I'm stuck with it, maybe I can find a place in my house for it, you are not going to be happy. So take down all that art you don't like. I'd rather see a bare wall than a wall that has art that I really don't like, because you're going to look at it every day.
I think you're onto something there, Yvonne. And the interesting thing is, I think we go out and say, I need a piece of artwork this size and it needs to have this colors in it, these colors to go in this room. And when you go out with that approach, I think you end up buying something that's mass produced and not really something that you're in love with. So I do recommend that you try to find some original artwork, or find some artists on Instagram or on Pinterest or someplace where you can buy their artwork. And maybe it's not an original. Maybe that's too expensive. It might not be, though. Maybe you can just get a print, but try to find something really meaningful to you rather than just something that they happen to have at the store, because there's so much impersonal artwork out there that doesn't mean anything to you or anyone else. And it makes me so sad to see that on the wall when there's so many talented, incredible artists that probably have something meaningful that they've painted that you would adore on your walls.
And exactly. And don't keep art that you've grown out of, that you've grown bored with, that you're tired of, but, oh, it's the right size and it fills the space. Don't do that to yourself. Maybe keep the frame, try to get something that's about that same size, put a mat in it and then a frame if it's the size that you want, but don't settle for art on your walls that you just don't love.
Yeah. And something else that I see a lot of, and I've been so guilty of this, I'll admit it right off the start here, is getting a rug that's the wrong size. And when I say the wrong size, you know what I mean.
We do. Absolutely.
Too small, because you look at the price and you say, well, do I really need the bigger size? Oh my goodness, it's several $100s more.
Get the bigger size.
So then you go with the discounted, the smaller rug, you put it in your room and you think, oh, well, it looks skimpy. And then it would actually, and when your rug is too skimpy, it actually looks better without the rug than having the rug. So if you've bought the rug that is too small and you can't return it, you can use one of our tricks that we do talk about in our rug episodes, and that is to put a larger size sisal or other neutral rug underneath, and that acts as an extender, and you'll be much happier.
And actually that layers, it gives you an added layer, and also it's a very, very becoming look.
Yeah, I think we've both used it. I don't know if you've used it, Kelly, but I know Yvonne and I both.
Yeah. And not only that, your base layer then maybe doesn't have to be the best rug in the world. It just has to be the right color.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. How about just arranging your furniture? Sometimes your furniture just lands someplace, or you just think everything needs to be pushed up against the wall and that's just where the sofa is. And unless you're needing to have your sofa in front of a television or something like that, if you've got some play in the room, if you're feeling like the room is just not working for you, this is so much fun, in addition to being, good physical exercise, fun to do and therapeutic, and can really make you happier with your room. Just start moving all that furniture around.
Mm-hmm.
Try it in different spaces. And don't do it. Don't do it for like 5 minutes by yourself and step back and look. Leave it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And see if you
live
can get
with
used
it for
to
a little bit. Exactly. And see if it works better. I think there's some things about rooms where people don't create the kind of flow which feels natural and good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't, the room is never going to resonate well with you. It's not going to feel right if you need to go around this ottoman, or there's a big hole over here and then there's too much on the other side. You know, we've discussed balance and symmetry and all those things, but the proof is in how it feels. So start moving the stuff around until it feels good. And don't just move it for 5 seconds and put it back to the other way. And don't listen to other people right off the bat. Let them live with it too.
I think that's a great idea. Sometimes we have furniture pushed against the wall. So think about if you can pull some furniture away from the wall. A lot of times that helps the room. And also, is there some piece of furniture that you're always knocking into in the middle of the night? Or I know I've got to get the trunk out from the base of our bed at the farm, because in the middle of the night, if Kevin gets up, he runs into it. It's terrible.
Oh,
I wanted to get rid of it. He's like, keep it. I'm like, really? Because
you only have 2 toes left. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Can you put it on another wall?
Right. You're waking me every time you break a toe.
It's no. But I'm happy to just move it out and sell it.
Okay.
I'd be delighted to do that for him.
Here's the thing about sometimes moving furniture. You know how wonderful my Bobby is, and he truly is. And I'm not bad mouthing him, but the one thing that he does 2 things. He doesn't like to put a hole in the wall and then redo it. He will, but I get that look, like that grumbly look. The other thing is he does not like to move furniture. And I've got big pieces, so I can't move like the one big hutch cabinet that we have. And I've just gotten and I just get this idea in my head, and it just eats at me until I can try it. And I'll say, Bobby, how are you feeling today? Like, can I make you a drink, honey? You know,
cocktails before furniture moving is always
a bourbon and ginger does the world for him. But then I'll say, if I want this, can you help me move this over here? But if I don't like it, I need you to move it back. And that's the part that sort of is over
Just
the top.
Just don't say that part. Just don't say that. Cross that bridge when you get to it.
Oh, no. Well, but then he'll go, well, we moved it once already. This is good here. So.
Yeah,
we moved it 10 years ago when we moved in.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be moved.
And then I'll say, but it's for work. It's for work.
Oh, it's for work.
Yeah. And then he's going like, oh, well, okay.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor. And I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Here's a blunder that happens and it's so easy to fix. The blunder is maybe you didn't, go for the super duper cushions when you bought your sofa. Yvonne has shared her personal sofa woes with us in the past. Or maybe they're just a little worn out, but you're not ready to, dive in and buy a new sofa. How about just flipping and rotating? Do people do that? Do they think about it?
Yes.
It's a great way to rejuvenate your sofa or your chairs. Mm-hmm. I do it when I vacuum. I'm always shocked. Okay, can I just tell you, shocked. I mean, I wouldn't want to share
appalled.
A photo, but I am appalled at when this is my lovely sofa that's in my living room. That
the
really
gray one.
Only I really sit on that. And occasionally the girls will sit on there to tickle the dogs because the dogs are on there normally. And my dogs don't eat food or popcorn or anything like that on this sofa. I don't understand how crummy things get under the cushions. So every time I vacuum the house, I take it all apart. I mean, there's only 3 cushions, but I take it apart and I vacuum all in there so it's nice and tidy. And then to the extent I can, because some of the cushions have the little sort of wedge out, because they go around the arm and stuff like that. You have limitations on how much you can move them around, but certainly you can flip them. You can change the places of them because I know when I go in there, I always sit on the one side of the sofa that has the little table next to it because I want to put my tea or my pen or something down. So that one over years will be more squished in than the other one. So this is, maybe you made a blunder and got the wrong cushions, or maybe you just, it's just through use and you haven't thought of it, but flip all your cushions, vacuum them off and if they have, the welting or the piping, sort of get your vacuum in there, get all that stuff out of there. And it's going to really refresh your furnishings.
Kelly,
you'll be very happy.
I can't believe you said that. I mean, and between the two of you, I've checked off 4 of the things on my list.
Oh, really?
Because mine was uncomfortable furniture. And I didn't think of that, but I did think of what do you do if you have a piece of furniture that goes south? You can have it restuffed or have the foam put back in it. And can I just give you a little update on my sofa? The one that I was so unhappy about. And I kept saying, I love the fabric, the slip covers, everything cleans so well. So the last time that we put it, we had took all the, the slip covers off. It was a couple months ago and I had it washed, and I have somebody who helps me around the house and she put it all back on, and it seemed like it stopped. It's just got awful since then. And so I was so frustrated about a week ago. I pulled them all off. Here they were stuffed back in their slip covers wrong.
Oh.
So instead of, because the seat cushions are longer than they are and they're shorter in depth. Yeah. They were put in the wrong way. So
no names need to be mentioned.
Yes. No, I wondered why there was like a 4-inch gap, as you'd settle in. And I kept saying, I'm falling in this crack. I really can't stand this. Blah, 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 blah. And I mean, my eyes just got like big as saucers. And thank goodness my really good friend who helps me was there and she redid them. Now the back of the cushions are still just falling down. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just bought a new sofa and the sofa is sort of fine. I'm glad I'm getting a new sofa because I don't love how it sits, but we're going to put, because we're redoing our basement this winter. So I'm just going to put it in the basement. So it's the tale of woe ended with, it was a little happy because it did get fixed so I can still use the sofa somewhere else. But
well, you better be mixing up some bourbon and ginger cocktails. If Bobby's going to take the sofa down the basement.
That's already that's already making me feel
get that bar cart rocking.
I've already said to him, Bobby, by this weekend, you have to have. I have a dresser sitting in the hallway upstairs because we had to redo our, one of the guest rooms because of my son's allergies, and I have a dresser sitting up there. I got a new chair for our family room that's sitting in the living room. And I've got this sofa. And I said, all three of those pieces of furniture need to find themselves in the basement this weekend. So I gave him the timeline.
I think I have Bobby's phone number from when we were in Haven. I'm going to just text him one word, golf. Like make some dates this weekend,
that's
Bobby.
Where he is today. I have no problem with him golfing, but I do need him to help he says, there's not a lot of room there. I said to him, well, make room. I think he wanted me to go down and make the room. I'm thinking, I'm not doing this one.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh my god.
But anyway, my tale of woe has a happy ending.
Oh, as they all should.
So make sure your cushions are properly put on your sofas and things, and do turn them. It's so important, and fluff them.
As the cushion turns.
Fill in it or whatever. Yes.
Okay, one thing that's going to make you so much happier, especially if you have put mirrors in all the rooms like we tell you to.
Mm-hmm.
The lighting. The lighting, ladies and gents.
I was just going to say that. There you go.
Yes.
Good for you.
And you know what is key? Is lighting that is below chin level. I want to be perpetually uplit. So I would just have a little light in my like the front of my shoe or something like that all the time. Very nice. So you need to have 3 sources of lighting at least in a room. We have podcasts where we've gone really deep into that and giving you all kinds of ideas, whether undercounter, this, like that, all the lighting episodes that we have done in the past. But this is a blunder that I see all the time. I'll go into somebody's house and they turn on the light. You're like, whoa, I did it. Just, I'm admitting it, whatever. You feel like you're, in an interrogation room.
Yes.
Not in a
That's
living room.
That's that overhead lighting.
Yeah. Or is someone performing surgery in here? Like, we don't need that. We need different sources of lighting.
Here's a reason to listen to, besides it might be a little more warm and inviting.
Yes.
I used to do portrait photography. The worst time, what's the worst time of day to take a picture of somebody outside?
12 noon.
At noon, because
the lighting is directly overhead.
Is directly overhead. Mm-hmm. Boom, you've said it. If you want to look like Boris Karloff, in the movies, with the bad shadows.
Yeah. So it's not you, ladies. It's the lighting.
If you want those shadows under your eyes to go down below your nose, use overhead lighting. If you want to
look good in your room, put some lamps in there. You're going to look so much better.
Oh,
and it's so easy.
Yes. It's so easy. When I go, I love to go get my hair cut because I love the guy who cuts my hair. My dude Max and we have so much fun together. And a decorator that I know from town designed the studio. So, but I don't like to go there because the only thing I don't like about it, I should say, is that I have to look at myself in the mirror for the hour plus that he's doing my hair. Mm-hmm. And there is a light. Each one of the stations has a light, like a hi-hat light, a can light right over the chair. So you have this light like shining down here and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and then, then you get your hair washed and then you look kind of like a wet dog and then you're sitting there and you're thinking, do I look this bad all the time? Like, how does this happen? If they would just put little lamps, I'm suggesting each one of the hairdressers, because they're in the business of making people look good. Why would you want to go in? And same thing in dressing rooms.
And shame on them for not knowing that. Yeah.
It's not you in that bathing suit. It's the lighting in the dressing room. It's over your head. Nobody's going to look good.
Here's another side lesson. Don't go out in a bathing suit at noon.
only swim parties after 4.
Yeah.
Or in the dark for me right now.
Well, and you'll save your skin too. Oh, stop.
That's true. It's all about saving your skin.
I have another one that is just such a blunder. Don't get too matchy-matchy with anything you do in your house.
Oh, true.
Whether it's furniture or fabric, you just don't want things to look too matched up. You want things to coordinate and be interesting instead of being matchy. And the way that you can fix that is break up. Like, you don't want to go to the store that has the bed in a bag, that has the dust ruffle and the duvet and the pillow shams, and they all sort of match a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You want to buy those individually, and it's okay. If I just did a part of a reveal of my master bedroom, and in the light, my beautiful raw linen dust ruffle doesn't look quite. It doesn't match the other things. And in real life, it goes together well, but it does not match. And somebody said, "Oh, Yvonne, I don't like how that looks together." And I'm thinking, she must think it had to match. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've got to get out of that mindset.
She was very bold.
I love my readers, but they will tell me what they like and don't like.
I would not mention that.
Well, I know. Well, some people's filters are more intact than others, but I just take it with a grain of salt. And I'm just so glad that they comment, that they feel comfortable
joining
to do
in the
it.
Conversation. Is awesome. I'm just joking. Well, I wanted to say something about the art. Now, talking about Yvonne, I didn't mention it before because we had talked a lot about the art, but it's coming to mind again when you're saying this. Your art doesn't have to match.
Bing. Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that.
Your art could be art, and that's okay. Art for art's sake. I mean, sure, I wouldn't buy a $14.99 poster that completely didn't match what I was doing. But if it's a real work of art, it doesn't have to match your pillow.
It can stand alone. Yes, it can. Right. But make sure it's good art, like cheap art or reproduction.
Gotta be good
they can't stand alone because there's just not enough of the beauty and the organicness and the realness. They need to be, but if you have like a real nice piece of art, it can stand alone.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
So I have one more. It's kind of like the corollary on the you need to make sure your rug is large enough. Kind of the same sort of thing with the curtains. You don't want the panels to look too thin. You want to make sure they look nice and full. So
good. That's a very good
look at your curtains. If they don't look full enough, you're going to probably need to go get another panel.
Right. And go now before they run out of which.
Well, better fuller
go get
than
it now while
thin.
they still have it.
Right. Go get it now while they still have it. And see, that's so easy to fix. That happened to me here.
Unless you bought it 20 years ago.
Unless you bought it 20 years ago. But here I bought some linen draperies from Pottery Barn. And they weren't cheap. So I was like, I was just really going for the decorative look, that adding some of the fabric to have some softness. A layer, because I have the natural wovens that are really providing the privacy that I need in the bedroom. So I thought, well, this is just on the side. I can probably get away with, one panel each. I'm going to have them all, scritched together on their rings, all over at one side. But man, did it look dumb. It looked like I had put like a run of toilet paper like that. It just looked that narrow. It just looked so bad. And I thought, I've already spent this much money. I'm in this deep, because they were like 100 something each. And I bit the bullet and I went back and I bought, I needed 2 more, for one extra one for each side. And it probably, truth be told, and maybe if they go on sale, I might even buy a 3rd panel for each.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, you think, stretched out, that's a lot of fabric, but it's just really not when you hang it on a wall.
Well, how big how wide are your windows?
But they're not all that wide. They're very tall. But
they that must have been very thin panels then.
Well, they're thin. They're not lined. They're, very sort of, they're linen, but they're like a lighter, more like an Irish linen. So, they don't have a lot of heft to them. They're not lined. They're just, linen. And so it didn't really look like much. And it actually looks better too, because and then I, of course, had to add another set of rings. So another 7 rings went on there. And then so it all just looks better.
Good. Yes.
So if you're having the same, if anyone's feeling that way, like, my window treatment is just like, it might just be there's not enough of that.
And let me just throw another thing out there. And this takes a little more time, but this is something most people can certainly do. If you have too many wall colors in your home, I think that is a very look of bygone days. Don't you, girls? I think that if you have, there's a blue room and a pink room and a this room and a that room. I think nowadays, I think it's a really good idea to keep most of your rooms either the same color or hues or shades of the same color that work really well together. So it's not so stark when you go from one room to another. And what a difference that makes in your house. Because believe me, I've had wallpaper and colors throughout this house, and I've totally changed that. years ago, and it just felt so calm and it felt right. And I think it was such a good feeling. So if you have a lot of different wall colors in your house, and also be careful of that accent wall. You don't want every room in your house to have an accent wall. And I think that's another.
That's no accent.
Right. That's exactly right.
It's a whole nother language.
It gets confusing. So make sure that you're looking very carefully. Do your rooms flow together? The colors, the colors look nice together, instead of just like, okay, we're in the blue room now. And we're in the pink bedroom. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I so agree. And if you've just painted a room And we know choosing paint is difficult.
Oh.
We're with you on that. And it's just not right now that it's on the wall. As Anita said in the beginning, don't try to, keep decorating with something you really don't like. If you don't like that wall color, change it now.
Yeah.
And if you haven't and it's been sitting there for a year, change it this weekend. Call Bobby and have him come do it. I don't think he's that busy because you're never going to like it. And then, as we discussed in the beginning, you're going to be like, oh, I don't like this, fill in the blank color, but now I have to get fabric in this fill in the blank color that I don't like. Right. So then you're never going to like it. Change it.
That's exactly right. Well, today we've talked about a lot of decorating blunders that you could actually fix yourself. And so look around your house and see what things that you're maybe unhappy with, or they don't sit well with you, or they're just a little bit off, and make a list of them and tackle them one by one. It'll give you something fun to do. It'll also give you a house that really looks beautiful, because that's what we're all about here. We're here to help you create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey, everybody. We want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com. Or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.